didn't watch it at all.
What? You haven't seen it?
No, I just fell asleep.
You haven't seen Survivor?
Yeah. The grand final.
Oh.
No,
I was like, we're about to do a show and you're telling me you haven't watched it? You haven't watched it?
I did. I watched it.
I'm glad because we're about to do a show.
Yay!
All right. Hey, I'm Robin.
I'm Jack.
We're the Inwits, and it is time for our American Survivor David vs. Goliaths episode 1 recap. Where do you want to start?
First off, I want to start with the title of the show. I never do this normally, right? What the heck? Dave and Goliath. I'm like, they've made something of themselves. They've made something of themselves. There's no real difference.
There's no real difference, is there? It's almost, you are correct. It's almost that time when we had that season which was blue collar, white collar.
Yeah. Right.
Really, we've got, it's kind of just like the Goliaths come from a bit more of an easier path.
Yeah. A bit more of a star.
Silver spoon maybe, and the
they come from the hard side of the tracks. The
other
side.
But a lot of them seem
Well, one of them's a district attorney. You know, he grew up in a trailer park. Now he's a district attorney. I'm like, well, that's a pretty good.
But he's a district attorney for his area, and maybe his area is still a pretty poor area. Maybe,
no.
But
what I'm just saying though is like he had to work really hard to get there. Everybody on the David side has worked really hard.
And like we've got a really clever guy who I'm loving.
I love him.
What is his name? I'm going to be really bad at this because I'm always bad with the names to start off with. He was awesome.
He was great.
But he's so clever, and he's obviously some sort of engineer of some description.
Yeah, he said he was. Yeah, I think he's robotics.
Robotics engineer.
Right?
So but you were correct. Yeah. So there is no the David-esque thing, and I'm like, there isn't a real. There wasn't a big muscle difference in my eyes. There was a slight difference, but it wasn't like when we've just come from champions versus contenders Australia.
Well, I wanted to bring that up. Think about champions versus contenders. You got the champion team in the Australian side and the contenders in the Australian side.
It's pretty much David and Goliath there, isn't it?
Well, it's the same, similar sort of thing, but I think it's much better presented.
Yeah.
These are the guys who are pretty much your average folk who haven't made it as a champion, right? Yeah. And here are your champions. Can they compete? That's why they're called contenders.
Yeah.
Right?
And it's
Dave and Goliath just doesn't. If they had called this season champion and contenders, I would have gone, okay.
Okay, yeah. But they aren't. Yeah, they just like more come from the other the rougher side of town, or they've had a bit of a rougher run.
Yeah, but they've all made it.
But they've all found. They're still not down and out. They're still not struggling. They've just had a harder time.
That's right. So I'm not really. I think Jeff was he was explaining on the ship.
That was interesting, wasn't it?
He was really pushing for. It's how much you can turn a situation to your advantage.
You've all got your advantages, strengths and weaknesses, and the Goliaths, their strengths are visible, and the Davids, your strengths are invisible, and we can't see them as easy.
But that's every player who's ever played Survivor. If you can turn the situation to your advantage.
I found that was a fascinating start. I found the episode to be a fascinating episode, and maybe it was a fascinating episode because of our surprise medical evac. Because once that happened, I'm like, oh, maybe that's why they've edited in all this fluff.
Oh, okay, you think so?
Because we now no longer had any strategy of who to vote out.
Yeah, and there was no trial.
And there was no reward challenge.
Yeah.
I kind of got, when we first started, I'm like, this feels like an Australian edit.
Yeah.
I'm like, what are we watching?
I kind of, like you, I was a little bit surprised, the first challenge. It was a reward and immunity challenge, and the reward was fire, right?
No, the reward was shelter building. The immunity. Yes. No, but they always do that. That's been like that for quite a while now. They've been that. But so there's two things. Like we start with this opening challenge, and Jeff just gives us this really big explanation about what's going on. And I'm like, what was happening?
Yeah.
Like we're getting a lot, but at the same time, they got a shelter building kit.
Yeah, I know, it was big shelter building.
But they got nothing else.
No,
So they got a bag. This time, I'm assuming, because we know they've got a bag, they've got fishing gear.
Yeah.
They all got given fishing gear and rice. That's it.
That's it.
So that's not much this time around.
Actually, that beginning challenge was kind of interesting because...
That was interesting.
They let the Davids have the pick. They got to choose the course that they would run and who the other side would run. Like, it wasn't exactly an even playing field.
No, it wasn't. Like they've given this whole thing like the Goliaths, you pick the weakest and you pick your strongest, and put the the difference there is going to be huge.
Yeah.
But then when you allow the Davids to pick the course,
I know
for them it's a. But that said, our current favourite kind of guy, how quick did he do that slide puzzle?
Oh,
and the fact that he's like, I've written algorithms for slide puzzles.
But, well, for puzzles, right? But I don't think he should have said that.
No, he said slide puzzles.
No, he just said I've written.
No, it was algorithms.
For
slides.
No. He said for puzzles.
Jack,
right? Don't worry.
No,
wait.
You go and rewatch
it. I will, and we will after this.
And the next episode, episode will say who was right, and I was right.
Look, but listen, the point is, he shouldn't have said it.
No, he shouldn't have.
He shouldn't have said that because now the expectation is on his tribe.
To be a puzzle guy.
You're the puzzle guy.
Well,
and we all know how deadly it is if you fail at a puzzle.
But I don't think he has yet.
He failed in the.
He didn't
and
fail
that
in
wasn't
that puzzle.
really. That wasn't a real puzzle.
But he didn't fail in that. He almost caught up. They were well and truly behind.
Oh, look, really? Yeah, I guess the guy digging.
He almost brought it back. The guy digging who just.
Well, he missed out on getting the machete.
That threw him. Yeah, that threw him right out of the way.
That threw him right out.
So he didn't fail in the puzzle in the slightest. Well, he almost caught them up.
It was just. I think he was just as far behind at the end as because. He was trying to organise 5 people to do the thing as well.
Nah, because they'd already started, and then all of a sudden Jeff's like, Thingo's got their first line. Yeah. Davids have now also, they've tied it up, they've caught up, they've got their first line, they've got the second line.
Anyway. But the other thing I'd like to dwell on is the Davids when they build their shelter, right? I thought the guy, the guy who actually gets medical now. Pat, I thought he was alright. I didn't think he was particularly overbearing or anything.
But he was very commanding, and that
but you want to get this thing built.
I'm with you on this.
Yeah. I mean, what I mean is, if I'm on a beach and this is my first day, I want something to sleep in.
Yeah, of course.
But
it's the way he's gone about it that has kind of got people a little. Hang on, I don't know you yet. You shouldn't. Don't bark orders, and that can throw people off.
I mean, it's the usual thing. It is the usual thing, right? That if somebody who takes charge of building normally does get a mark on their back, don't they? Right? Yeah. But what I found really interesting was, when he gets medevaced out, they're talking to the 19-year-old girl. I judged him. Right? And she was like, I've so misjudged him. And he was just he was out the heart of our group. And I'm like, if this had been tribal, you would have been voting for him. No,
they were voting district attorney.
Oh, you reckon?
Yeah, he was gone. The way
But what I'm trying to get at is it's only because he's had this. And by the way, he must have had some pre-existing condition for that slam too, right? But it's just funny how he's injured, so now I've got to say that I loved him and he's a really good guy. Yeah. He was next on the chopping block after. Well, DA.
District attorney than him. But I think. This is the funny thing, and this is only because it's day one. Yeah. Like the first 3 days for them, you don't get that chance to know him. But like you said, he wasn't doing anything wrong, and he was just commanding to get the shelter built.
Like once it was built, everybody seemed to say, "Oh, that's great. That was a shelter,"
and he done a really amazing job. Yes, he was commanding in that, but he was actually not a bad dude.
I want to pick on what happened in the shelter. Was that a cry fest or what?
Oh, when they would have started talking about their...
I mean, if I was in that shelter, right, I would have got up and walked out and slept on the beach, right, because it would have been drier.
Where is your heart?
My heart? That was rubbish.
Come on, Jack.
Oh, come on.
Have a song.
Hang on, I want to have a cry now. You can have a cry. Everybody, let's cry together.
Good. You got to get it out.
Kumbaya.
You got to get it out. A good cry. On. When's the last time you've had a good cry?
That 19-year-old girl, right? She's singing in the shelter. It's Survivor, right? It's raining. She's singing in the shelter. And she's going, this is so hot. It's day one.
Yeah, it's day one. Yeah.
Right? And she's going,
or
she's
day
crying.
Day 1 or day 2 or something.
And that's what sets it all off. And I was like, this is day one. What are you going to do?
Oh, I thought you meant when they're talking about their family life.
No, that comes later.
Oh, okay, when she was having a rough time.
I'm like, it's day one.
It was a pretty rough 3 days, though.
Oh, we've seen worse.
Yeah, I know, but fair enough. But
all it was doing was raining and they had a shelter.
They had to build the shelter. Most of the time it was raining, but they had no food. Apart from rice, like they ate the octopus.
We know that they've had survivors where there was no rice.
I know, but I'm just saying, like this is a pretty, especially because we just talked about this 2 nights ago.
Yeah.
To see them not get the bounty of food to start off with, no veggies, no nothing. I was like, well, interesting. And they just...
But I didn't like it. I thought, oh my God, it's going to be a soap opera.
But this is why, though, because they had nothing else to fill it with, because we couldn't fill it with strategy, because the strategy
right. Yeah.
isn't
Actually,
there.
that's a good point. Maybe if yes.
That's why it was such an interesting episode to me, because it was very Australian-esque.
Yeah, it was
We're getting all this filling, getting to know everybody stuff, and we get a little bit of that in the American season. Then we're on with it, and then it's strategy. But when you have no strategy
to show, then you got to fill it.
It was such a weird thing to see.
I know.
To see that, like from the start,
when they were doing that, and they even went on to where the district attorney decides to tell them about it, right? And I was like, what are they doing?
It was weird, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it was weird because I just thought it was weird from Jeff explaining in detail. We get it. Like, we've seen the start of Survivor all the time.
Yeah.
But we got an in-depth discussion about the Davids versus the Goliaths.
Right.
And then what this challenge represents and
normally
everything
Jeff
about it.
picks a couple of people, says, hey, what's your name? What do you do? Right? Hey, what do you do? Then it's
that.
Let's go.
Let's get into it. We got that. Then we got the other thing. Then we got the explanation. I'm like, this is odd.
It is.
What's
now
going
you
on
bring it up.
here?
It is. You're right. I didn't notice.
And then we started to go into the dynamics of the family. Then we get the guy on the Goliath tribe who's in love already. In 30 minutes, he's in love.
We're going to go there. We're going to go there.
But like, we're getting all this. We're getting all this stuff.
True.
And then all of a sudden, we go to the immunity challenge, and they just lose. And it's like, oh, David, the Goliaths win.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. And then we get this weird edit to the boat.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm like, that's odd.
You know when they started showing the boat?
I was
like, what the heck's this?
I was like, what am I watching? Because I've never seen this ever. I'm thinking, why is Jeff coming to their beach?
That's it,
because the only time you ever see in a boat is Jeff's coming in to give some news.
Yeah, that's right.
There's this weird cut
of boat, weird
cut of storms.
I thought the boat was Jeff myself coming in to tell them stuff.
For the past 17, 18 years, that's what it has been.
Yeah, that's right.
It's Jeff coming to give a twist, to give something else, or to give some news.
What happened to giving them a boat and letting them row back to there?
Well, that's what happened.
Right?
But
normal,
But this has happened because they've had to.
Yeah.
The cameras were off on the way back.
Yeah.
The incident has happened, and they've had to put in a boat shot.
That's it. Yeah.
The wave shot because they didn't capture it. Because then we have the wave crash, and the next thing you know, you've got them carrying the poor guy on a stretcher out. I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah.
And I'm not going to lie, you know how in Inwits Survivor, you've seen it firsthand. I was a mess.
Yeah.
I was a puddle of tears.
Oh, really?
It caught me off guard. I was just crying my eyes out.
Look, he did want to go on, but there was absolutely no way, because clearly that was a major injury.
Yeah, I'm curious to know. I'm looking forward to, strangely
enough,
episode 1.
They'll tell us.
Yeah, once we get to the reunion, we'll hear about it. But we did see at the end, he made a full recovery from his injuries.
Yeah, right.
Wow.
But that's a pretty major thing. I mean, just from a boat, smacking the bottom of a wave, top of the waves.
Yeah,
but let's talk about the Goliaths.
Okay.
Right? They get together, and then it comes...
Swap man guy.
Yeah, but, we see all the Goliaths there, and we see the director guy, the guy
the Amazing Race screenwriter, director.
Right? He's been in 3 different things or something, apparently, right?
And made some pretty big movies. But I do remember, now that they mentioned it, I do remember him on The Amazing Race.
I can't remember him, but I think I do slightly.
I definitely do.
Slightly,
100%.
right? But he goes off to look for an idol, gets him up. But what I found really interesting was they put a mark on his back like, oh, he's gone looking for an idol. But then I loved it, right? Because they all go, hang on, I'll go look for an idol too. And they all disappeared. They all just left the camp.
Because it was pretty funny.
It was great.
But no, the first part was like, I'm going to look for an idol. So no one will know what... Everyone's too busy doing other stuff. Too busy, no. I'm going to look for an idol.
No.
Where's... Whatever his name is. Where's he
He's looking for an idol.
Oh, he's an idiot.
Yeah.
He's been gone for way too long, and they send the other girl that's on the main girl who's on the chopping block. They're sending her off.
Yeah.
She's like, you've put a target on your back, and then it happens again.
But what I love is when they get back, nobody's there. They've all gone off.
And then everyone's looking for idols, and then.
But I thought it was really good because they all decided, hang on, if he's looking for an idol, I'm going to look for an idol, and it's the most sensible thing I've ever seen. A bunch of survivors do.
Well, it's happened before, but it happens out of this weird panic.
And
then everyone scatters, and it's like because alliances have been formed, and then they're like, we can't let that alliance get the idol, and they're attacking. Remember, who was the one? What season was it? Tony's season where he attacked the guy with the idol.
Oh,
remember, he full on tackled him.
Yeah. No, that was the girl on Ty's first season.
Yeah, okay.
Remember, like, she was trying to get out of the tree, and then they came along.
That guy,
the bounty hunter
dude, and the
basketballer basically tackled her to get it off her.
I
don't think that's on.
That was mental. Whereas this was weird. They all kind of just civilly went out and looked for an idol.
Just went like that.
Cool. Forget the shelter. Meanwhile, the Davids are building this shelter, and they're all scattered.
They're all scattered to look for an idol. But I thought it was good play because it's like, how often do you see this? Everybody sits around in camp. One guy goes look for it. They all go, he's looking for an idol. What do? They just sit there.
Yeah.
Go look for it. Find it instead of him. And they all
it was just like, and the girls are banding together because the girls don't get the idols through like the 30%.
Oh, 15% or something.
So it's like, but go look for it. But that's why, go look for it.
That's exactly right. They're like, only 15% of women get the idol. Well, women should go and look for the idol.
So I thought that was a great move by her to be like, let's go look for it.
Absolutely.
Why do we have to conform to this, we need to sit in the camp mentality?
That's exactly right.
No, you don't. Go look for it. And that was a great thing. I'm just sitting around.
Exactly. Think about the last American season where, Chrissy basically just sat around camp. Why didn't she go and look for an idol?
Go look for it.
Why don't they? It's just sitting in the jungle. It's they can look just like any other
And then our SWAT man finds it.
Wow. Let's go to the showmance, as he calls it, right? He sits there, he says on his one-to-one to camera, he goes, I know that a showmance is is deadly, right? He says that. Then he proceeds to do it.
Because he's in love already.
Yeah, but I'm like, I'm not going to judge him yet.
I'm pretty sure he wasn't looking for an idol. He was hoping for like a bamboo-shaped ring to propose. I know he happened to find the idol, but he was really hoping for an engagement
I haven't
ring.
prejudged him. He said that it's okay as long as they keep it. They never ever meet in front of other people, and they split up, and they don't sleep together and all that. If he manages to pull that off, I'll be happy with that.
I don't think he could.
But then, of course, he does the other catastrophic, the worst thing you can do in Survivor when you find an idol. Hey guys,
come back! You're in front of me.
Come back. Right. Come back.
They're in front of you. You see it.
You pick it up.
And it wasn't even a hard thing. It was like, oh, great, snap, pocket.
Put in the pocket.
Oh, I really thought he was going to walk away with this smooth. I
thought
was like,
so.
And then he called them back.
Hey, come back! I found you. I was like, oh please, no. It was
This is a mistake. This is a consistent mistake that happens year after year.
After year. And
like it's a decade-long worth of mistake.
How many times do you see on Survivor somebody sit there and say on one-to-one to camera, I know it's wrong to tell anybody about an idol, and the first thing they do is tell somebody about the idol.
I don't know why. Like, why do we have to build? It's this concept. I need to build trust with this idol.
But no, he didn't. He didn't then. No, that was the thing.
That was. I think that was
just him being exuberant. Hey, I found it.
That was also him being smitten for the girl up the head. Like that's what that is.
I would forgive that a little bit if you're right, but there was the other girl there, right? And I was like, well, no.
Oh, look, I don't forgive it at all. Especially day 2 in the game.
He could have pocketed it, taken her aside, and then gone, look, I found it, right? Yeah. But he didn't. He was like, hey guys, come look at this.
He's just too trusting too early.
Oh, I don't know, maybe a bit of a showboat.
Yeah.
Hey, look, I got an idol. Well, I don't know, but anyway. What else to say about the Goliaths? That was pretty much it.
Look, I don't have like the.
It's the beginning. One thing I do want to ask you.
Yeah, go for it.
And it's in your line of work, Johnny the wrestler, right?
Yeah.
He says he's going to play it as himself because he's got all these personas he normally plays. Yeah. Right? Is that possible? Can you just drop your personas and just be yourself? Or are those personas going to eventually creep up on you and start influencing what you do?
Just from my small glimpses of this pro wrestler, his personas, they all, I believe, will attach to a core of his anyway.
Yeah, yeah.
So yes, his persona is he wants to be himself and not McAbs-a-thon. Whatever he called himself. Johnny McAbs-a-thon. I don't know what was going on with all these nicknames. That's just a name, and he's not wearing spandex pants. But he's still the same person.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
He's still the same person.
Right? And so when he was saying, I'm not going to use these personas, I'm just going to play as myself.
Well, you can still, I'm not going to be Johnny McAbs-a-thon. I'm going to be John.
Saturday Night Cruiser or whatever it was or something. I don't know.
Or Biceps McGee or whatever else he was. He was just
it was coming out.
He had every nickname under the sun.
So listen, overall, though, now we've discussed the tribes. Is there anything else of particular note that you want to bring up?
Look, to me it was just a fascinating edit, and then it made sense once we got the medical evac that just caught everyone off guard. Because then again, we then had another shot of the like 2 or 3 cameras around him, the boom guy.
I know.
Like it was just
I know the boom guy, right?
Like that was madness to see that. So that kind of explained the edit to me once that happened, because I was a bit confused. But again, there's never too much to say at the start. You know, I think the DA from David's tribe has put himself on the out, and I don't think he can recover.
Oh, actually, there is one good thing there. You know, he's one-on-one on the camera, and I thought this was really amazing, but stupid would be another way of putting it, right? He goes, I don't want to expend my energy building the shelter. And I was like, it's day one.
Yeah.
You won't have to worry about expending your energy. In 2 weeks, tell me about expending your energy. You know? And
also, you don't look like the powerhouse that's going to be pulling off the challenges. Like, I'm sorry, DA, but you don't look like... You're not Johnny Bicep Absathon. You're not that dude.
But it's almost like he was like, it's almost like he's a battery.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to run flat just yet.
I've
only got 30 days.
Like, you've been on the beach for 2.5 hours.
Right?
Let's just calm down.
Calm down.
Because if that's all you've got left in you, you've got... You know, that's what I mean. I was like, I'm just hoping you're rechargeable, and somehow, because he'd be flat soon.
That's right.
But so he's put himself in the outs, and I think the girl, the older girl on the Goliaths tribe, she's also. I don't think she could redeem herself from there at the moment.
Well,
but she's got an extra 3 days.
The problem for her is she stood around. She's got a double whammy. She did nothing. And she stood around barking at people.
Yeah, that's the thing. Right? Whereas the other guy just did nothing and kind of was happy and proud that he did nothing.
That's right.
He dodged a bullet. Like, he really dodged a bullet having the incident.
Oh yeah.
Because I just don't think there was any way to bring him back in to the tribe. So that's there on the outs. Our two our good nerd, boy nerd, girl nerd. Alliance could be something pretty good, maybe.
I think it's a potential another showmance, actually. But anyway.
Yeah, but I really find that character. I think he's great. I think he's a great character.
Oh no, I think so. I'm just hoping that he's got the problem for people.
I did love. Sorry.
Yeah, go on.
I did love when he was explaining his
the cuts.
Yeah, and he's like, this is how you do. You solve like the algorithm and the slides, and it's like if you go twice to the left, and then
he's clearly spent about 25 minutes explaining everything.
Like, I just love. Sometimes I really enjoy when the editors have their fun.
Oh,
like,
that's right.
Debbie fun.
It was great fun.
It was the insane.
Good fun.
You know, here we go. Blah, blah,
blah. Like, they could have just cut to the end, and we could have never have seen that, but they did that. And it was like you knew exactly what was going on.
Yeah, and so I found that was pretty funny. But yeah, it's still pretty early days. We didn't get too much of the strategy thing. I think, obviously, I can't wait for the next episode. I love American Survivor.
Yeah. Look, I'm looking forward to watching the nerd woman and nerd man.
And I kind of feel like they could get around to. They could last quite a long time in this game.
The thing about them is that even though we know that if you come across as very intelligent, they can be a mark as well, right?
Yeah.
But they've got the other side where they're
really socially awkward.
They just sink into the background. Until you actually talk to them, you don't really realise kind of how smart they are.
It's a fascinating thing. And I look, I don't really have anything else to add to the episode. No. Because it's early days. It's really hard to get anything out of that. But I do want to think. I think a David might be a winner. I think we'll see a David be the winner.
I don't know, because look, one of the things about the Goliath tribe, I think, that is probably a detriment for them is, I think even when Jeff was talking to them, you could see that there was a little bit of pumping of overconfidence going on. You guys have really proven yourself. You've made something of yourself, blah, blah, blah. And people, and even amongst themselves,
their ego's just going to...
They're pumping their ego. This is one of the great things about Survivor. Ego meets Survivor by ego. So
I think we'll see. I feel David could come out just because I think the ego within the even though you said it's a great thing, everyone goes out and looks for an idol.
Yeah,
I think there's this. You did see this, which was the thing. David tribe, the heart of the tribe, the heart formed with this tribe, the bond. I don't really remember a cut of many of them hunting for an idol on the David tribe.
They didn't. They basically got the shoulder up. It rained. They got on the shoulder.
They built a connection. They built a bond with each other. And even though the Pat guy was on the outs with his yelling and stuff, he was brought back in once that happened. Whereas I don't think the connection will be as easy on the Goliath tribe. I feel like their ego is just going to... There's going to be a lot of clashing egos.
I think it's pretty obvious that they're already playing an individual game on the Goliath, right? They're not bonded, except for the SWAT guy and his girl, right?
His lover and her best friend.
Yeah, they're all everybody else, like Johnny and all the rest of them, I think, are already in the individual game mode, right? And which is great to see.
Great to see, but maybe it's not great to see. Maybe as we talk and discuss and analyze the whole thing, maybe the subtleties of an individual game need to come back to the forefront. The connections need to be built. So and I think they're finding that fine balance. We've got a team that's playing very much together and a team very much individual.
I don't see the Goliaths having any problem with banding together for a vote. Because they're playing their individual game. That's fine. But I think in the forefront, it's an individual game even now. What I think the danger for the season, for our viewing pleasure, if you like, is the Davids have made that connection in the heart over that night, and they've spilled their guts to each other. God, I never want to. It's kind of like it's like watching a train wreck. But anyway,
you have no heart.
No, none at all. A swinging brick, mate. But I think that will maybe make it like that tribe will really bond, and then we're going to see a tribe thing. We're going to see, like last season, it's going to be Davids.
Yeah.
And if you're not a David, see you later.
Yeah.
And people won't break.
Yeah, that's
But I'm hoping not. I'm really hoping not.
Okay, yeah, that is a bit of a danger.
Yeah, like in the Australian season currently with champions, it's just an unbreakable bond. It's killing the game.
Well, yeah, unbreakable bond only broken by everything outside of it.
Exactly. It's destroyed them, you know?
Yeah, look, obviously episode 1's hard to really get into.
Oh, of course, because it's just the prelude, really, to what's going to happen.
So, but look, I definitely enjoyed, even though it was a weird one.
I will say this, I really hate medical evacs. I hate it.
Well, this was a strange medical evac that caught me off guard.
I know, I'm just saying, I hate medical evacs in the game because it just releases the pressure. They didn't have to go through the trouble.
No, they didn't. But they did lose one of they lost their strongest player.
But they didn't have to go through the machinations. That's the fire.
Yeah, and this medical evac was just something that really, I was like, oh wow, I just wasn't expecting it.
I hope there's no more.
Yeah.
On another note, I did read an article about where Survivor is going to be held from now on, forever.
Fiji.
What
do you mean, forever?
Forever. Like Jeff apparently has gotten a promotion and has decided that Survivor...
He wants to holiday at Fiji more often. Well, he's like, I really like Fiji, that's where we're going to go.
Essentially, they love the resort. There's a resort close by, right, that the crew can stay at, and they really like the resort. It's got the beach and everything, and there's none of this travelling. He said... Well, one of the things he said was the world's changed since they began. And so being able to move around the world's a bit more difficult. But I'm not sure I like that. I love when they go to a different new setting and new country. I love it, especially when they, started Pearl Islands, when they had to go to the village.
That was random. That's never happened before. That was
no, but I would like to see more of that. That sort of stuff. But anyway, I just thought I'd bring that up as
fascinating. I might look at that.
Survivor New, okay, and maybe our viewers would like to see that.
Anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed the episode as much as I really enjoyed it, even though it was weird.
I did enjoy it.
I really enjoyed it, but it was weird. So I'm looking forward to the next episode.
Yeah, absolutely. This is where it will kick off.
Yeah, we've got 2 more Australian. So we'll see you anyway next time for the Australian episode.
Oh yes, that's right.
The next Australian one.
And then the next American one.
It's a busy time for the Inwits.
I know.
Very busy.
Wow. There's 6 in the Australian, so there's probably another 3 or 4 episodes left.
Yeah, we're close for a couple of weeks.
Okay. Thanks for watching.
See you guys.
See ya.